that I want you to know is that it doesn't matter where you are on the emotional scale. Guidance is being sent your way because the universe never gives up calling on us. And so the universe is always calling us one tiny step at a time. Even if you were right here, right at the bottom of the emotional scale, the universe would call you a one step up. The universe never calls you from here to here. The universe always calls you one tiny step at a time, going up the emotional scale slowly until you get right to the top. So I want to feel my guidance. Your guidance is whatever your heart and your mind are telling you. Your guidance is limited by your beliefs. So your guidance is never going to tell you to do things that you don't believe are possible. Your guidance will always want to keep you inside your comfort zone because you have to expand your comfort zone by changing your beliefs in order to go up the emotional scale. So your guidance is never going to tell you to do things that you don't believe at this point in time that you should be doing. So when people step outside their comfort zone, like there's all of this talk on the internet about how we should step outside our comfort zone. There are times when we trust someone else more than we trust ourselves. And so in that moment, we are allowing their beliefs to supersede our beliefs. We are borrowing their belief in us. All of mentoring is about that. You believe in what your mentor sees in you more than what you see in yourself. So you borrow your mentor's belief. When someone goes under the knife for a surgery, they are putting their faith, their belief in the surgeon, in the doctor. And so they are at that time borrowing the doctor's belief. And success, ultimate success, depends on continuing to believe in the doctor's belief, continuing to believe in what your mentor believes for you. Which means that you've got to remain positive up on the emotional scale. When we borrow other people's positive emotional beliefs, they take us high on the emotional scale. The trick is to stay there. Sometimes people lose faith and then they go back down the emotional scale. Why? Because their own belief is over here. They borrowed someone else's belief to go up here, but it wasn't their own belief. And that's why they come back down the emotional scale. They lose confidence. So, for example, these days it's not just Tony Robbins who does the walk of fire. So many other people do the walk of fire. But what is happening when someone does the walk of fire is that they are putting aside their own beliefs. They're saying my beliefs at this point in time don't matter because I'm putting my belief in Tony Robbins. If he says I can do it, I can do it. But that same person in the same situation without Tony Robbins' presence might not have the belief that they can do it on their own. So that borrowed belief. Now, if you go to Tony Robbins and then you do the walk of fire and you come back home, if you have truly changed your belief, you should be able to do the walk of fire on your own at home. So a lot of times people are not able to sustain that because it was a borrowed belief and your own beliefs haven't changed yet. So our guidance tells us whether or not we are ready to take the action that we are contemplating. And if fear is a very helpful emotion, fear tells us that we are not ready. So then the thing is to say, okay, How do I get rid of the fear? What do I have to do so that the fear is no longer there? When you do those things that remove the fear, you have expanded your comfort zone and now you're able to take action. So for example, if you're going bungee jumping and you are afraid, then you should wear the safety gear, right? And there are people who go bungee jumping without the safety attachments because their belief is keeping them safe. Always do whatever takes the fear away is what you should do. Look at driving. So many people learn to drive. And driving is one step at a time getting rid of the fear. So in the beginning, you get into the vehicle with a driving instructor or someone who is teaching you because you are borrowing their belief. And based on the borrowed belief, you allow yourself to experiment. And when the experiment works, your belief has shifted. And that's why over a period of time, you get to a place where you don't have the fear anymore. You don't need the person sitting next to you in the vehicle. So it is not ever about acting in the presence of belief, in the presence of fear. It is always about finding ways to remove the fear.